family have lived in Saddlescombe for years and years and years. I was born here in 1925 and started work when I was 14 for Mr. Williams, his father. And of course in those days there was sheep and everything was done with the horses and all the old-fashioned machinery, threshing machines, and you have it, you name it, they had it about here. My father, he was shepherd here for several years, but he unfortunately died early. He was only 49 when he died. Then my brother, he took over till 1942.
So
the military took the ground over for foreign practice in 1942, and they sold all the other animals here on the 8th of May. But the sheep they went to Eastbourne about a fortnight earlier. And they only had just a few cows, and I think it was about 4 horses that was left in 1942.
And they had some horses. What did they use the horses for?
Ploughing, harvesting, binding, reaping, mowing. Everything was done by horse.
And they all went at the same time at the start of the war, Second World War, was it?
They went in 1942, same as. And then after that, they sort of got a little bit mechanised when the war finished and the military handed the ground back. Had their first tractor. And
what was that like as an experience compared to the horses then?
Well, they couldn't get into a lot of the places where horses could get, on the hills and that, because the horses, they used to borrow ploughs on side hill and go over there with the wagons and that, but the tractors couldn't get them there.
Do you remember who else was working on the farm? There was the carters and the
cowmen and general farm labourers. When I first started, there used to be 10 milking in the morning, hand milking.
Was that just one milking in the morning?
Well, then there used to be about 7 of us in the afternoon do it, but there used to be 10 in the morning. Cowmen and sons and all that sort of thing. It was never just a single person advertised for. There was always, and everybody that worked on the place had either 2 or 3 sons working there. I mean, so when you went thrashing or anything, it was about, had to be 9 or 10 chaps there with it. 2 on the stack putting it onto the threshing machine, 2 on the straw stack, bloke taking the corn off, one of the carters taking the corn to the granary, going fetching water for the steam engine, coal.
Do you remember, did they actually have the steam engine out on the fields, did they?
Yeah,
They were still using one of the big old wooden threshing machines,
yeah. Well, I suppose it was about 70s, in the late 70s, they had a combine. But they started with the combine. There was like Pangding Jesse. He had the first one round about here, and everybody said, "Oh, our sons might have it, but we won't." But the next year, everybody had them. Everybody had these combines.
Do you remember? Did you have to go into the house to do anything, into the Saddlescombe farmhouse?
Well, that was one of the first jobs when you were boy starting up. You was a boot boy. First thing in the morning, you used to have to go and clean 4 or 5 pairs of boots, and then you used to have to go down and pump water from the cellar up to the bathroom. And before they had electricity, you used to have to light the boiler. You used to have a big old copper in the scullery. You used to have to light the fire there, get them hot water. With the sheep, it was all hand shearing in those days, no machines. I used to 7 or 8, I'll be in there, I'd never actually done any shearing myself, but I used to have to go along there and catch the sheep and set them up for them. And in those days, like, when I first started work, we used to have to walk the sheep from Saddlescombe to Lewis. the sheep sale, and then from here, I never went from here to Findon, but my father, he used to drive from here to Findon. I used to meet up with other shepherds on the way, and then the sale nearly always used to be on the Thursday. And on the Friday they used to come back, big hundreds of sheep coming over, and they used to put them in the yard at Saddlescombe and sort them out. There used to be so many go to up over the Devil's Dyke way, and so many up the main Alborn Road, and they were sorted out again up. Used to be Drover, Ed Drover, he was a Welshman, Tappy. I never knew what his other name was, but they always used to call him Old Tappy. He used to come along in a pony and trap, 2 or 3 old dogs with him, and he used to have all these other blokes walking. Used to be 7 or 8 of them come along with driving these sheep along. I was saying the yard out there, it used to be absolutely packed with sheep, and then it was
certainly the downs look different now than they would when the sheep were here. There was a lot less.
Oh, I must say the dyke hill was only about 3 or 4 bushes up there when the sheep were there. It was like lawn.
I suppose there's a lot more people now coming to the dyke than there used to be.
Oh yeah, I must say years ago there wasn't the traffic about, and you used to get the people come up on the train up there and walk up onto the downs, but now obviously you get so many cars come up.
I don't suppose you'll remember any of the amusements up on the top, would you?
I remember the coconut shows up in the, but they used to say there used to be a roundabout and that up there, and I don't remember that. But then there used to be an old lady had a tea room where you go down into the dyke station, almost as Dennett, I remember her. And then there was what they call the ladies' golf, a 9-hole golf course up round towards the Devil's Dyke.
Yeah, I don't suppose you remember the oxen at Saddlescombe, do you?
No.
Do you remember any of the stories which were about
My father, he was a car boy.
We've got a photograph of him in the leading the oxen with the long whip, isn't it?
That was a long stick with a nail in the end, you know.
Was it?
It's a problem with that, if they weren't pulling properly. They never used to hit them with a whip or anything. That was just give them a proper, what was like a pin. They didn't know.
Were there quite a few children who lived at Saddlescombe?
Well, you used to get a lot of boys come up camping. There used to be the grey school who used to come up from Brighton, and there was the Brighton Boys Brigade. They used to come up every summer and camp in the chalk pit. And the girl guys, they used to come there and have their camp there.
I don't suppose. Do you remember the Robinsons?
Remember Maud, almost Maud Robinson.
What was she like?
Well, a little frail old lady, you know. Of course, she was, when we was kids, she was well in her 70s.